When people ask me, what is star quality, I say, Steve McQueen. Everybody loved him.
Steve McQueen, known as the King of Cool, became a Hollywood legend with his role in The Great Escape. Despite overcoming many obstacles to achieve fame, he struggled with personal issues in his marriage and health. Diagnosed with cancer, McQueen's life took a tragic turn.
He died this morning in another Mexican clinic. His heart stopped beating after doctors removed one of the tumors.
Before his death, he made a final, surprising phone call. Who did he reach out to, and what did he say? Join us as we explore the details of Steve McQueen's last call. Steve McQueen's final call, a shocking goodbye. As Steve McQueen's life neared its end, he made a phone call that revealed a side of the Hollywood icon few had ever seen. Known for his tough, rebellious image, McQueen was battling terminal cancer, and the weight of his fight was undeniable. Before undergoing a final, risky surgery, he spoke with his doctor, Dr. Cesar Santos. Despite severe pain, McQueen's resolve shone through. He fully understood the risks, but was determined to keep fighting. In October 1980, just weeks before his death, McQueen reached out to his fans from his hospital bed in Mexico. Unable to speak directly, he delivered his heartfelt message through his wife, Barbara, asking fans to keep your fingers crossed for his recovery. For a man celebrated for his strength and invincibility, this moment of vulnerability was both shocking and deeply moving. Desperate to beat the cancer, McQueen had turned to experimental treatments in Mexico, spending $375,000 on controversial methods by Dr. William Kelly. These included coffee enemas, vegetable juices, and high doses of vitamins, therapies dismissed by medical professionals. Despite their lack of credibility, McQueen pursued them with unwavering determination, refusing to give up even as his health declined. His plea for support was more than a request for hope. It was a bold stand against the disease that was consuming him. Then came the moment that shocked those closest to him. Just 32 days after his public message, McQueen passed away on November 7, 1980, following the high-risk surgery to remove tumors. But before the end, during a private phone call, he spoke words that stunned his wife, Barbara. Known for his calm strength, McQueen's last words were disarmingly simple: "I love you." These simple yet profound words were his final act of love and gratitude, showing that even in his last moments, he held on to what mattered most. What might have driven Steve McQueen to make his final phone call? Could it have been a critical, life-threatening moment? Keep watching to find out. Steve McQueen's struggle with cancer and his final days. In 1978, Steve McQueen, known as the King of Cool, began having a persistent cough. At first, he thought it was something minor. He quit smoking and took antibiotics, hoping to get better. Instead, his symptoms got worse, and he started struggling to breathe. After nearly a year of these problems, doctors performed a lung biopsy on December 22, 1979. The results were devastating. McQueen was diagnosed with pleural mesothelioma, a rare and aggressive cancer that affects the lining of the lungs. He was just 49 years old. Only 5 years earlier, he had been the highest-paid actor in Hollywood. Mesothelioma is linked to asbestos exposure and often takes decades to develop. By the time doctors found McQueen's cancer, it had already spread to his abdomen and neck, causing severe pain. Doctors said it couldn't be cured, and the outlook was grim. McQueen believed his cancer was caused by his time in the U.S. Marine Corps, where he served from 1947 to 1950. During his service, he worked on a troop ship, removing asbestos insulation from pipes. Asbestos was commonly used in military equipment back then, and the fibers he inhaled likely stayed in his lungs for years, eventually causing the disease. McQueen's case highlighted the dangers of asbestos exposure, especially for veterans. In the U.S., about 30% of mesothelioma cases involve veterans because asbestos was widely used in ships, aircraft, and military buildings during the mid-1900s. As his condition worsened, McQueen desperately searched for a cure. Standard treatments like chemotherapy and radiation didn't work. In 1980, he turned to alternative medicine and went to Mexico for help. There he met Dr. William Donald Kelly, a controversial doctor known for unproven cancer treatments. Dr. Kelly's treatments included an organic diet, high doses of vitamins, coffee enemas, and daily injections of a drug called latrial, made from apricot pits. Latrial was not approved in the U.S. and was considered unsafe and ineffective by many doctors. At first, McQueen seemed to improve. On October 3, 1980, he publicly thanked the clinic in Mexico, saying, "Mexico is showing the world a new way of fighting cancer." But his health quickly declined again. In his final days, McQueen had emotional conversations. One of the most memorable was with Billy Graham, the well-known evangelist. McQueen shared his life story and talked about his newfound faith. Graham later called him a fighter, even though his health was failing. In another conversation, McQueen spoke about his illness and faith, saying, "My body is broken, but my spirit isn't broken. My heart isn't broken." Even as he struggled, McQueen wanted to inspire others and show that hope could still shine in dark times. Steve McQueen became a Hollywood legend. But was his path to fame shaped by his circumstances, or did he rise above life's challenges to build his own legacy? Stay tuned to find out. Steve McQueen's tough journey to stardom. Steve McQueen was born in Indiana on March 24, 1930. His mother was a sex worker, and his father, a circus stuntman, left her just 6 months after they met. By 1933, unable to handle raising a child, his mother left Steve with her parents in Missouri. In 1938, Steve's mother came back for him, and they moved to Indiana with her new husband. Steve's stepfather often beat him, and by the time he was 9, Steve ran away to live on the streets. His mother sent him back to live with family in Missouri, but after marrying again, she brought Steve to Los Angeles. Unfortunately, the mistreatment continued with her new husband. After another move back to Missouri, Steve joined a gang in Los Angeles. When he was caught stealing hubcaps and thrown down a flight of stairs by his stepfather, he ended up in a reform school. At the California Junior Boys Republic in Chino, Steve spent 14 months, including 5 stints in solitary confinement. Later, he said he drew on these tough experiences while filming The Great Escape in 1963, especially for the scenes in The Cooler. At 17, Steve joined the Marine Corps. There, he learned how to use weapons, which helped him later in movie fight scenes. He was promoted to private first class, but got demoted back to private 7 times for things like sneaking off to meet a girlfriend for 2 weeks. During a training exercise in the Arctic, Steve's ship ran aground, throwing many Marines into the icy water. Steve jumped in and saved 5 of them. He was honorably discharged in 1950. After leaving the Marines, Steve worked various jobs, including being a getaway driver for robbers, working as a pimp, and selling illegal guns. Eventually, he decided to turn his life around and moved to New York to study acting. Using money from the GI Bill, he enrolled in the famous neighborhood playhouse in 1951. In 1952, Steve McQueen spoke his first line on stage in a play produced by Yiddish theater star Molly Picon. His character said just one line, "Alles is verloren," meaning all is lost. During this time, he studied acting with Stella Adler, where he met actress Gia Scala. McQueen loved cars and motorcycles and started making money by racing motorcycles on weekends at Long Island City Raceway. He bought his first bikes, a Harley Davidson and a Triumph, and became a skilled racer, earning about $100 each weekend, around $1,100 in today's value. He appeared as a musical judge on ABC's Jukebox Jury during the 1953 and 1954 season. McQueen also had small roles in plays like Peg o' My Heart, The Member of the Wedding, and 2 Fingers of Pride. In 1955, he made his Broadway debut in A Hatful of Rain, starring Ben Gazzara. Later that year, McQueen moved from New York to Los Angeles. He settled in a house on Vestal Avenue in the Echo Park area and started looking for acting roles in Hollywood. Seeing his journey to stardom, let's explore deeper into his acting career, starting with his early career that helped him rise to fame. Steve McQueen's early career breakthroughs. In 1958, Steve McQueen got his first big movie role in The Blob, a low-budget sci-fi film. He played a teenager trying to save his town from an alien creature. Despite costing just $110,000 to make, the movie earned $4 million. McQueen's character represented the rebellious spirit of young people in the 1950s, which made the film more than just a monster story and helped McQueen stand out. Soon after, McQueen became a TV star, playing Josh Randall, a bounty hunter in Wanted, Dead or Alive from 1958 to 1961. His character was tough but also kind, making him different from other bounty hunters. The show was a hit, and people loved Randall's unique weapon, a short rifle called the Mayor's Leg. McQueen's big break came in 1960 with The Magnificent Seven, where he played Vin Tanner, a skilled but unlucky gunslinger in a Western. The movie was based on the Japanese film Seven Samurai. At the time, McQueen was still working on Wanted, Dead or Alive, and wasn't supposed to do movies, but he faked a car accident to get out of the show and join the cast, which was a risky move. On set, McQueen clashed with the lead actor, Yul Brynner, because McQueen liked being the center of attention. He made little moves like adjusting his hat or gun belt to grab focus, which annoyed Brynner. Despite the tension, McQueen's performance stood out, and the movie became a big hit, earning $65 million, which is about $60 million today. McQueen later called Brynner to thank him, admitting that Brynner could have had him removed from the movie, but chose not to. In 1963, McQueen starred in The Great Escape, a film that made him a Hollywood legend. He played Captain Virgil Hiltz, an American POW trying to escape a German camp. His character's defiance and charm made him unforgettable. One famous scene has him bouncing a baseball in solitary confinement, and another features a thrilling motorcycle chase. McQueen loved motorcycles and insisted the chase be added to the film. He rode most of the scene himself, but his friend, Bud Eakins, did the famous jump over a barbed wire fence. McQueen was even skilled enough to play some of the German soldiers chasing his character. The movie was a big success, earning $1.7 million, which would be over $100 million today, and helped boost McQueen's fame. He was paid $100,000, a huge amount for the time. In 1966, McQueen took on a serious role in The Sand Pebbles, which earned him his first Oscar nomination. The film was set in 1920s China and told the story of a rebellious Navy machinist named Jake Holman. The shoot was tough, lasting 9 months in Taiwan and Hong Kong. McQueen got sick, lost 30 pounds, and had to be hospitalized, but he kept going. Between takes, he drank milkshakes to keep his energy up. His hard work paid off, and his performance impressed both audiences and critics. The film tackled big issues like racism and imperialism, making it especially powerful during the Vietnam War. It became the 4th highest-grossing film of 1966 and received 8 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture. Although McQueen didn't win the Oscar, the nomination showed that he could handle emotional and complex roles, not just action films. Steve McQueen was more than just an actor. He had a life beyond the spotlight.
Now you know there's no sure way for us to fight a fire in anything over the 7th floor. But you guys just keep building them as high as you can.
But did this chapter bring him fulfillment, or did it lead him down a more challenging path? Stay tuned to find out. Steve McQueen's marriages, love, struggles, and heartbreak. Steve McQueen was married 3 times. His first wife, actress Neela Adams, married him in 1956. They had 2 children, Chad and Terry. Their marriage, however, struggled due to McQueen's infidelity and the pressure from his growing career. After 16 years together, they divorced in 1972. In 1973, McQueen married actress Ally McGraw, whom he met during the filming of The Getaway. Their chemistry was undeniable, both on and off screen, leading to a deep connection. At the time, both were married to other people, but their attraction was too strong to resist. Ally later admitted in her memoir that she fell deeply in love with Steve, and their bond felt like something straight out of a movie. However, both had to navigate leaving their partners. Steve had to end his marriage to Neela, while Ally had a child with her husband, producer Robert Evans. By 1972, they were both free to be together. Their relationship became the subject of intense media scrutiny, with their affair compared to the famous romance between Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. When they married, Steve made Ally sign a prenup, which would later cause tension. Despite their passionate love, cracks began to appear. Steve's jealousy, rooted in past insecurities, grew overwhelming, and Ally was expected to give up her acting career to stay home with their children. Despite sacrificing her career, Ally felt trapped by Steve's controlling behavior. He became furious at even the slightest sign of attention from other men, though he was rumored to be unfaithful himself. His jealousy escalated, and he even stalked Ally during a photo shoot, believing she was cheating. Over time, McQueen's behavior became more erratic. He would disappear for days, indulging in substances and alcohol, while flaunting affairs with groupies. His emotional mistreatment turned physical as he would accuse Ally of cheating, often causing her emotional pain. Allie, despite the mistreatment, clung to the hope that her love could heal Steve's deep emotional scars from childhood. But as time passed, she realized love alone couldn't fix his issues. The final blow came when Allie suffered a miscarriage. Steve's lack of sympathy shattered Allie's already fragile heart. The emotional toll of their marriage led her to a crossroads. After 5 years of constant conflict and a fading career, Allie was offered a role in Convoy. Seeing this as her chance to escape, she took it. When she informed Steve, his response was to demand a divorce. The marriage ended bitterly, with Allie feeling betrayed by the prenup she had signed, which had left her financially vulnerable. After McQueen's death, stories emerged about his troubled personal life, painting a darker picture of the man behind the fame. He had been controlling, abusive, and insecure. His first wife, Neela Adams, shared stories of his possessiveness and jealousy, including one where he held a gun to her head, accusing her of infidelity. As more stories came to light, it became clear that McQueen's persona as a charming rebel hid a much darker side, one of manipulation, violence, and insecurity. Allie McGraw later described Steve's presence as magnetic, but also noted his bad boy edge that made their time together both thrilling and difficult. She recalled their life in Malibu, where they enjoyed some privacy away from Hollywood, hosting barbecues and living a relatively simple life despite their fame. In her interviews, Allie was open about the love and turmoil that defined their relationship, a whirlwind of passion that ultimately couldn't survive. After his passing, will Steve McQueen's legacy and achievements fade away, or will he receive the lasting recognition he rightfully earned? Keep watching to find out. Steve McQueen's legacy and recognition. Steve McQueen's legacy continues to shine brightly long after his passing. Despite his challenging personal life, his story continues to inspire. In 2007, 27 years after Steve McQueen's death, Forbes said he was still very popular, known as the King of Cool, and one of the highest-earning deceased celebrities. A rights management agency, Branded Entertainment Network, then called Corbis, helped increase the value of his estate by carefully limiting the use of his image, avoiding the overuse that affects some other celebrity estates. That year, McQueen's estate was listed among the top 10 highest-earning deceased celebrities. In April 2007, McQueen was added to the Hall of Great Western Performers at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum. Earlier, in November 1999, he had been inducted into the Motorcycle Hall of Fame for his contributions to motorcycling, such as funding the movie On Any Sunday, supporting off-road riders, and improving the image of motorcycling. On March 16, 2010, the Beech Grove, Indiana Public Library opened the Steve McQueen Birthplace Collection to mark what would have been his 80th birthday on March 24, 1930. There is also a street named after him in San Antonio, Texas. In 2012, McQueen was posthumously honored with the Warren Zevon Tribute Award by the Asbestos Disease Awareness Organization, ADAO. The 2015 documentary Steve McQueen, The Man in Le Mans, explored his journey to create and star in the 1971 racing movie Le Mans.
A lot of people go through life doing things badly. Racing's important to men who do it well. When you're racing, it's life.
Featuring interviews with his son Chad McQueen and ex-wife Neela Adams. On September 28, 2017, a special screening of the documentary Steve McQueen American Icon was held, with an encore on October 10, 2017. It focused on his life and spiritual journey. The film received positive reviews, with Kenneth R. Moorfield of Christianity Today calling it a reminder that even the most famous people often search for peace and purpose. Michael Faust of Wordslingers described it as one of the most powerful and inspiring documentaries. In Quentin Tarantino's 2019 film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, McQueen is portrayed by Damian Lewis. He also appears as a character in Tarantino's novel of the same name. What are your thoughts on Steve McQueen's final call? Do you think his legacy and accomplishments will stand the test of time and be remembered for generations? Let us know in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the next video shown on your screen to catch up on your favorite celebrity stories. See you there.